So a lot of people keep asking me, why do you hype up Brilliant Stars so much? Because we've seen this before. Look, when Cosmic Eclipse was about 3 years old, we're hitting 440, 479, and then let's see, 479, and then a year later we hit 600. I don't know. I just want to document this. This is what I think is going to happen to Brilliant Stars. And Brilliant Stars has dropped to 350! Dropped to 350, guys! Welcome back, trainers and collectors. It's your favorite Pokeplumber here, flushing out the latest news and the hobby updates. Whether it's breaking leaks, rare finds, or market trends, I got the tools to keep your collection growing and your profits flowing. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's your favorite Pokeplumber. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Happy Monday. Hope everyone is doing well. Giveaway. Bolton V collection box. If it's free, it's for you. Congratulations to Gwen Tien 1986. Congratulations. All you have to do is shoot me a message on either Instagram or email me. Screenshot your YouTube and I'll send this over to you. Congratulations. And now, for your next giveaway, it's going to be... Should I do two? I guess we're doing two. 2 3-pack blisters of Brilliant Stars. You have one that has a Glaceon and the other one has a Leafeon. So all you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell notification, and then your chance to win a free 3-pack of 2 3-packs of Brilliant Stars. Nice. Nice. Good luck. But, yeah. How's everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good. It's my son's first birthday this weekend. Well, we had his first birthday party this weekend. We had an absolute blast. His birthday is actually today, on Monday. It's Sunday night. It's on Monday. So, happy birthday to my son. I love you more than anything in this world. Anything. Yeah. And then last night, or 2 nights ago, I went over to Ryan's house, Cool Trainer Ryan, and we ended up just having a blast. You know, we went into a couple different lures. We had an awesome time, and that's what this hobby is about. Ryan has become one of my best friends, and honestly, we've had so much fun. And like everyone thinks it's money. Like, no, man, you create some awesome relationships. Like, dude, I'm just grateful to have him in my life. Honestly, it sounds kind of weird, but. Nah, dude, I love that dude. But shout out to Ryan, of course, and yeah, I just want to talk about a couple things today. I guess we have to start off with, we saw the release, or we saw 3 cards from the mega sets that are coming out, and it shows like the one pack art has Lucario, and the other one has a pack art of Gardevoir, and they teased three illustration rares. So it looks like we're keeping the illustration rares. We're not changing things up yet, it doesn't look like. Because like, you know, we went from the trainer gallery and to the illustration rares. So now we're going to have more illustration rares. I don't know. I don't know. That's what it looks like. But we saw an awesome Bulbasaur. Like Bulbasaur. If you guys don't know, Bulbasaur is my favorite Pokemon in this entire, like, out of anything. Like, Bulbasaur is just, I have Bulbasaur everywhere. I have Bulbasaur plushies. I love Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is the absolute best Pokemon ever created. Ever. And there's no debate. And Gengar too. But there's no debate. So I'm really excited. That Bulbasaur card looks absolutely stunning. And then you have a really cool looking Vulpix. And it's not like a Alolan or something different. We have the OG Vulpix. And then we have a sneaky good Pokemon from Sword and Shield era. We have Inteleon. Inteleon looks awesome. So, I mean, they're already coming out with bangers. If I'm being honest with you guys, I'm not too excited for the black and white set coming out. Because I just feel like it's still going to be, we're at like the tail end of the chaos. So we're going to be dealing with some chaos and it's going to be hard to get. People are going to try to overhype it. Yes, the black and white set looks awesome. And I usually always tell everyone, stay in the moment, enjoy what's going on. I'm not really looking forward to what comes with the black and white. Like, I'm excited for the set itself. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. Well done. But I'm not excited for what comes with that. You know, the chaos, the scalpers, people arguing, the crazy prices. I think we're almost out of it. I'm starting to see a downshift in some products, which is really nice to see. I see, you know, people getting stuck with a lot of product instead of it, you know, flipping instantly. So slow and steady wins the race. So we're almost there. Don't fear. Don't stress. Paldea Evolved. Paldea Evolved has been going absolutely wild. Yeah, because people realize that, or they're thinking that we're not going to see any more Paldea Evolved. And I don't know. I don't know. Most likely, I don't think we're going to see any more Paldea Evolved because there's so much ahead of it that hasn't been reprinted or anything like that. So now people realize that Paldea Evolved is pretty much done for. I wasn't a fan of Paldea Evolved in the beginning. I stayed the course. And I have a good amount of Paldea Evolved, so it is what it is. I mean, it's not a set that I'm like, oh, I'm excited to rip. But it's a neat set. It grew on me, and it's a deeper set. A lot of illustration rares, a lot of good cards in it. The Magikarp has been going wild. The $3,000 cost, I think that's kind of bullshit. Excuse my language. It's just hard to, you know, when I see things like this. But hey, I'm going to be honest, guys. When it first came out and that card was $500 in a PSA 10, I said it was overhyped then. So I was wrong on that one. People love the Magikarp. I just don't think $3,000. I think that's kind of crazy. I think there's so many other places you can put your money. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's wild to me. $3,000 for a Magikarp. But this is what I do want to get into today. I want to talk about the XY era. XY era. Guys, I think this is what happened with XY era. XY era during, you know, Sun and Moon era, during Sword and Shield era was always really underpriced, right? Nobody appreciated the full arts. If you look at my older videos, if you look at when nobody knew who I was, when nobody knew who Alex was, we were doing like a live, I think it was like the first one ever. I was talking about XY, and I said the full rates are underrated. You know, the megas were really cheap. I remember I sold like a PSA 10 Rayquaza from Roaring Skies for like $400, and then I sold the Ancient Origins ones. I had a couple of them for $500. So I'm kicking myself in the ass because I was screaming it all along, and then I kept the sealed product, but I got rid of all the slabs. And all the slabs, I was saying forever, really low pop, really hard to grade a 10. It's really cheap right now. You can buy like a Scizor EX for $100. You could buy the Alakazam PSA 10. I think it was like $250 at the time. So, I mean, it all happened, right? Like, people finally appreciate it. The megas are coming back, and now those cards, the pops are pretty low, so the prices are in the thousands now. Now let's talk about the booster boxes, okay? Before I made this video, I had to do a little research, and I'm looking up a Primal Clash box, and I can only find about 5 Primal Clash boxes. And I was like, all right, there's about 5 on there, and they're all above $2,000. Then I said, okay, Fates Collide. Fates Collide's on there. And I looked up Fates Collide, and, you know, they're all above $1,700, $1,800. And I look at the black and white era, right? When, like, we were going to the Sword and Shield era, right? Picture in Sword and Shield era. And I was looking at, you know, the black and white era and what the prices were. Now we fast forward to now, so stay with me. We fast forward to now, and the prices of X and Y aren't to the price where they were at black and white. So what if the whole time XY was underrated, right? But now you're getting to the scarcity of XY where there aren't a bunch of, you know, boxes on eBay, barely any on TCG Player. Stores don't really have them in stock, and when they do, the price is insane. So what if XY was just underpriced this entire time, and now, due to the megas coming back, and now with the scarcity, XY's still, you know, undervalued. What if we're not seeing, you know, we're not even seeing the top yet? Yes, I think with Ultra Modern, I think we're going to see a dip. But when I'm looking at the scarcity of some of these boxes right now, I kept saying, how can they go higher? How can they go higher? I think XY, I don't think we've seen anything yet, because look at the price of some of the black and white stuff, and look at what the black and white stuff was, a couple years ago. And I'm talking about like post-COVID boom, right? Like not before that, because things were way different than it is now. I wish I had, all the money in the world back then, because I'd be sitting on a freaking, oh my goodness. But you can't live by coulda, woulda, shouldas, right? We all it happens. You have to get with the times. But when I look at like an Ancient Origin box, when I look at Roaring Skies, Primal, and I see, the scarcity of these items, which were printed heavy back then, I'm like, what if we're not there yet? If some of these black and white sets can hit 10K, Ancient Origins is the best set in the XY era. Like from top to bottom, it has a full art Lugia, 3 amazing, you have the Primal Kyogre, Groudon, you have the Rayquaza. Like the set is just stacked. Is really a stacked set. So to me, I know it sounds crazy, but if you follow me on Instagram, I've just been buying these XY lots. And yes, the prices are higher, but I also see the scarcity. I do believe we're going to have a dip. But what if these prices hit a little higher, and then we do finally see the dip, and it's only about a 20% resurgence? They're still going to be through the roof, and you could still... I think that's what's going to happen with the older stuff, with the XY, with some Sun and Moon. I think Celestial Storm price, I think that's ridiculous. Don't even get me started. But even when you have this little dip, some of these boxes that are extremely scarce aren't going to dip as much as we think, right? Or would hope. So that's why I am making a decent amount of moves right now with the XY era. I see what happened with the black and white era and how that eventually, dried up. I know black and white was printed way less, but I'm just seeing XY become scarce, which is crazy. You got to think about it, guys. A lot of people, ripping shippers, have been really focusing on the XY era. It's in your mystery packs. I just don't know how much XY era is out there. Believe me, I've been searching nonstop for the past week trying to buy these lots, and I bought maybe 3 lots so far. And like Sun and Moon, I'm not talking like Sun and Moon. There's still a lot of Sun and Moon out there. So I'm just focusing on XY. The Megas, we're also gonna have about a year. We're gonna have the next 4 sets be ZA, right? We're gonna have Megas for the next year. So that's why I think we're gonna see prices continue to rise with the XY era. That's it. That was all. Nick, you could have answered that way faster, dude. Sorry. I just tried. You don't want to be in here. You don't want to be in here. Trust me. Trust me. But, oh, okay. Back to how I started everything. Sword and Shield era. Guys, we're seeing things really slow down with the Sword and Shield era. And it's like, now when people can get it, when things are, staying nice and calm, staying horizontal, nobody wants it. Nobody wants it at all. And it's like, I'm sitting here, and before this, I'm going through, TCG Player. I'm going through eBay, and there's Brilliant Stars box listed at $350 right now. And they're selling for less. My buddy got one the other day for like $325. I was like, how? So it's just like nothing's changing. And I know I talked so much about Sword and Shield era, but I am going to talk about Scarlet Violet. I'm just going to give you my opinion on Scarlet and Violet. I said this when Scarlet and Violet, probably 5 sets in. And just because I didn't like the Pokemon, on the boxes, everything like that, I said, what if Scarlet and Violet era is going to be, from beginning to end, the best era, right? Because I battled myself with that. Because, like, in Sword and Shield era, you had Rebel Class, Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze. They didn't have alt arts. The sets were trash, right? With Sun and Moon era, the beginning sets were trash. Guardians Rising, $800. Forbidden Light, $800. Get out of here. Miss me with that. The sets are horrible. But you had Scarlet Violet base. And you had the illustration rares come right out the gate, right? From Scarlet Violet base. Then you had the best specialty sets come out with the ETBs. Listen, Sword and Shield is still, to me, better than Scarlet and Violet. But Scarlet and Violet's not that far behind. From beginning to end, Scarlet and Violet's super strong. I just wasn't buying because things are overinflated, especially the end, ending towards the era. But now, you know, I'm kind of looking more towards temporal forces. I don't have as much temporal forces as I would like. And temporal, Twilight, I really thought we were going to see a lot more Twilight, and we just haven't. And we're getting to the point where I think Pokemon's going to hit us with more Surging, Journey, and Team Rocket. So I was waiting on Twilight Masquerade, but now I don't feel like waiting on Twilight Masquerade, and I don't feel like waiting on Temporal Forces. So I think we're getting to the point, not FOMOing, but I think they've been out for a little bit. I'm not sure if we're going to have the chance to get that. So yeah, I can still buy temporal cases for a decent price. I can still buy Twilight cases for a decent price. And that's kind of where my head's at. When it comes to, you know, Prismatic, Surging, Destined Journey, I'm not really touching that right now. And honestly, listen to me. If the same thing happens, let's say, you know, a year from now, and it's exactly like that, then I'll buy it, okay? But I told you guys, I'm always going to be honest with you. I'm always going to let you know what's going through my head. But now I'm thinking about Twilight, because I love Twilight's illustration rares. Greninja is one of my favorite Pokemon. So now, yeah, I am looking at Twilight a little bit more, and I am looking at Temporal Forces a little bit more for the Scarlet and Violet era. And mainly, my number one focus out of everything in Scarlet and Violet, even at these prices, and believe me, I bought when it first came out, when they had the $80 UPCs on Costco. I bought a good amount of those. But 151, I don't know. With these last 3 collection boxes coming back out, the Alakazam, Zapdos, and more Blooming Waters, I'm gonna buy a good amount, and I'm gonna buy a lot of booster bundles as well. So I'm just stacking up on those. I just bought another master case of 151. So those are my 3 Scarlet and Violet sets that personally I like. This is just what Nick's doing. I'm not telling you what to do. This is what Nick's doing. 151 bundles, 151 collection boxes, all that Shazam, and then Temporal Forces and Twilight Masquerade. Dude, Twilight Masquerade. Everyone hated on Ogerpon, including me. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Plungers in the chat and let me know what you guys think of Twilight Masquerade. Is the set mid or is it a better set? I feel like it was just beyond underrated when it came out, and then out of nowhere people started chasing the Greninja and the hype started coming, and then we got hit with Stellar Crown, which is trash, and then the Surging Sparks just was all downhill from now. But yeah, guys, you have to think about it. It's been over about a year of this hype. About a year. So this bull run's been freaking strong. And listen, if you have some boxes and you have some product, it wouldn't be the worst time to take some profits. During COVID, I didn't want to sell anything. I got caught holding the bag. If you're not into this stuff for a good price, like what I do is I try to be in for it as cheap as I can. There's some cases I'm into for $0. But back then, I was into stuff for a lot of money and I got caught holding the bag. Just make sure that you can, you know, if things do get bad, make sure you have money to survive. Because it can get dark. There's a lot of crazy things going on. It can get dark. But yeah, diamond hands, baby. Diamond hands. Just a little bit of, you know, a little bit of advice from the Mr. Plumber himself. Never overextend yourself, guys. That's the thing. Never, ever, ever, ever overextend yourself. Okay? So I pulled him the other day, and I keep getting his name wrong. It's, how do you pronounce this Pokemon? Farigiraf. Farigiraf. Not Farigiraf. 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 The hardened head from the tall... Oh, jeez. I gotta read from the book, because then the camera messes me up. The hardened head from the tall... Why? Well, that makes no sense. The hardened head from the tall protects the head of the main body as Farigiraf whips its long neck around to headbutt enemies. Tell me how that sentence makes sense. That does not make sense. Farigiraf. Jeez, that was horrible. I gotta read these before I freaking do them. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys are the absolute best.